I'd like to begin by welcoming all of you on behalf of the Islamic Center of Orlando. It really means a lot to us that you took time out from your schedule. Today being Friday night, family time, but still you took time out and accepted our invitation and you are here. So we'd like to thank all of you for accepting our invitation. Today we are going to have a small program and our fast will break, or we'll break our fast at 8 or 9. That's the time when the sun sets. So to walk us through our program, we have two youngsters, a boy and a girl, who happen to be my children. So
They're trained very well.
Trained very well. So as you know, we have 6 Interfaith Iftars that we have planned for this month. This is the first one. And what we are trying to do is we are trying to groom up a next generation to run such programs. So that, you know, our next generation should be confident on what they are doing. So every Interfaith Iftar will feature 2 youngsters. So tonight is Yusuf and Dania, my children. Tomorrow we have another Interfaith Iftar, and we'll have 2 more young children who will be the MCs. So with these words, I'd like to invite Yusuf and Dania.
Good evening, everyone. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, as we say in Islam. Which means peace and blessing be upon you. Thank you for joining us tonight. It's nice to see you all here. My name is Yusuf Rashid. I'm currently a sophomore at Valencia College.
My name is Dania Rashid, and I currently attend Dr. Phillips High School.
On behalf of the Islamic Center of Orlando, we would like to welcome you all to our annual Interfaith Iftar. The Islamic Center of Orlando was established over 30 years ago. It was created as a safe place for worship and also to unite the community.
We strive to build bridges between people of all beliefs, ethnicities, and lifestyles. Tonight, we'd like to discuss our holy month of Ramadan and to shed light on the ignorance that creates barriers.
In Islam, we begin our gathering with gathering in the name of God. So I would like to ask Muaz Rahman to come and say a few verses from the Holy Quran.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الله لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم لا تأخذه سنة ولا نوم له ما في السماوات وما في الأرض من ذا الذي يشفع عنده إلا بإذنه يعلم ما بين أيديهم وما خلفهم ولا يحيطون بشيء من علمه إلا بما شاء وسع كرسيه السماوات والأرض ولا يؤوده حفظهما وهو العلي العظيم صدق الله العظيم.
Thank you, Muaz, for that beautiful recitation. To start off, most Americans don't actually know any Muslims, at least not personally. Also, 83% of Americans say they know little or nothing about Islam.
However, when we take time to get to know each other and put our differences aside, we see how similar we actually are.
Julie Robb, this is a powerful story that begins with hate for people John Dutcher never met. And it turns into a story of acceptance and love for people he now calls his friends.
John Dutcher will straight out tell you what he thought of Muslims.
I actually hated Muslims.
The 9/11 terrorist attacks hit him hard and placed a hatred deep in his heart.
The women with their headdress on, I just would sneer at them.
Dutcher had never met a Muslim. Then one day, a family from Syria moved in across the hall.
It's not my fun.
Downstairs, an Afghan family found a home.
Twins, they're so cute.
Dutcher was surrounded by the people he loathed, but Muslims moving in moved him.
It took this to wake me up, yeah.
A change of heart for the man who didn't realize he had such a big heart. Bicycles in the hallway replaced the trash from his previous drug addict neighbor. Children's laughter now fills the air.
It's music to my ears, basically, from what it was before.
And his new neighbors need him.
Now they call me Big Brother, because they call me for everything. After 3 months of being here, they all have jobs, they all have cars, their kids are going to school.
They hardly come to us because they're always like, John, John, John. Like everything, they go to him.
A volunteer with Lutheran Family Services, Fatima Shah helps the families adjust to their new life in America. She calls Dutcher an inspiration.
He actually preaches this to everyone. He says, well, if you hate a Muslim, go get to know one.
They took the hatred out of me. I just never knew how badly someone could hate to someone they don't even know.
Now, Dutcher, who voted for Trump, disagrees with the president's Muslim ban and says everyone should have such great neighbors like he has. Lutheran Family Services says from October of 2015 to just last week, it's helped settle 21 Syrian families with a total of 116 people right here in Omaha. Back to you.
When we invite people into our religious centers, we see that it creates a sense of peace and harmony. An example of this is a protest that took place in Phoenix, Arizona.
A Valley man who went to a rally outside of Phoenix Mosque on Friday to protest Islam has a change of heart somewhat. Went to the event where armed demonstrators spoke out against the Muslim faith. But after being invited inside the mosque, he says the congregation made him feel welcome. Andrew Hasman live outside the Islamic Community Center of Phoenix where a different rally is getting underway tonight. Andrew.
That's right, Troy. More on that rally in a minute. But you remember the scene out here on Friday. You wouldn't expect someone to be invited inside the mosque, but that is what happened. And he told us today that after going in there, he now has a very different perspective.
Here's Jason Ledger and the organizer of Friday's rally wearing the profanity-laced t-shirts. Now, things have changed.
Out of respect for Islam, people know what I know now. Since I have talked to them and spoke with them, no, I would not do that again. Just because I don't want to offend or hurt those people.
While at Friday's rally, Ledger spoke with a group of people who pray at the mosque, and he was invited inside.
Well, when I took a second to sit down and listen to them and actually enter their mosque and go in and watch some of their prayers, it was a beautiful thing, and they answered some of my questions that I had.
Ledger attended the rally with his uncle. For them, going was more about free speech than religion.
We don't have to like everything that's free in speech in this world, but we do have to let it happen. We do have to let people wear what they want, say what they want.
Ledger and his uncle say they've been invited back to the mosque for more discussions, and they plan to go. This time, the t-shirt will stay at home.
I feel that me and a few people like my Uncle Paul and the Muslim people taking time to talk to each other, I feel that we changed the thoughts of some people and they changed the thoughts of me. Paul specifically said, I will never wear that shirt again.
I made my point, all right? The point was that even the most vile speech is protected under the First Amendment, okay? That was the point I was trying to make.
And tonight's rally is being organized by a number of religious groups. They're coming here to the mosque and holding what they're calling a love, not hate rally. That rally is set to get underway in about 30 minutes. Reporting live in Phoenix, I'm Andrew Hasman, Fox 10 News.
Andrew, thank you. The organizer of the people.
Just a simple invitation can change a negative perspective. This is why we at ICO find it important to host these events year-round in order to unite the community.
By hosting our interfaith barbecues, we invite the local community to have an afternoon with us. We also invite schools to educate them on the topic of Islam and give them a tour of our mosque. Our food truck travels to the less fortunate places of Orlando to feed the homeless and hungry. The mosque was also open for the people who needed shelter during Hurricane Irma. We provided relief for those in need during these stressful times in coordination with Red Cross. In wake of Hurricane Irma's devastation on Puerto Rico, the Islamic Center of Orlando had 90 volunteers at a food packaging event for Puerto Rico along with other religious communities. We were honored to provide relief for those in need during these stressful times. Now we'd like to talk about the basic principles of Ramadan. Ramadan is the 9th month of the lunar calendar, in which Muslims have been required to fast from sunrise to sunset. Fasting gives us another opportunity to show our obedience to God. It is another month where we are showered with blessings from our Creator. As said in the Quran, O you who have believed, decreed upon you is fasting, as it is decreed upon those before you, that you may become righteous.
Fasting allows us to feel the hunger of the less fortunate, and this helps us develop appreciation for the blessing that we have. This helps us learn patience, self-control, and also self-discipline.
We hope you enjoyed that brief presentation. Now I would like to call upon Reverend Josh Bell. He is a United Methodist pastor. He is the Director of Community Development at the Hope Center in Kissimmee, serving the homeless population. He is also an Interfaith Coordinator for Valencia Peace and Justice Institute. I'd like to call upon Reverend Josh Bell.
Thank you for that, and thank you for that presentation. That was so helpful, and I am so impressed. This is clearly good parenting, right? That's what that is. And thank you for the invitation to be here tonight. And I just wanted to echo some of the sentiment that's already been shared tonight. The idea that when we come together and when we get to know one another, and when we learn each other's shared humanity, then we can overcome the barriers that are thrown in our faces in terms of the division that is constantly emphasized, I feel, all around us all the time. We're always focusing on the differences. But if we can come together and focus on what we have in common, we can make great strides to overcome the hatred and the ignorance that happens so often. And I want to take just a moment as a white Christian pastor and say, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for every time the Christian community has not stood up for the Muslim community. And I'm sorry for every time that we have done something that's made it worse instead of made it better. And so as we come together in this space, I thank you for your hospitality, and I thank you for the opportunity for us to form relationships with each other and to change our society and change our world. Thank you.
I'd like to now call upon Pastor Claude Handcastle from Windermere Seventh-day Adventist Church.
Good evening, everyone, and I'm grateful, so grateful to be here. Imam Tariq, it is a pleasure to call you my friend so far, and as we continue to grow in our friendship and relationship, I'm looking forward to what interfaith coalitions and collaborations will produce. Reverend Bell, it's glad to meet you at my table number 6. Javed, did I say that correctly? And his dear wife, we met Edom. Did I say that right? I'm trying to get these names, so I'm grateful that I can meet some new friends here at table 6. A recent study came out maybe a few months ago that talked about what are some of the elements that would be there in a spiritually vibrant home, in a faith. The first thing that was mentioned was that there's regular devotion, or whatever the sacred text is in that religion. In Christianity, of course, it would be the Bible. In Islam, of course, the Quran. Whatever the sacred text is, there is regular devotion around that text. And then the second thing that indicated what would be a spiritually vibrant home would be the practice of hospitality. Inviting others that are not like you or in your immediate home to be part of your dinner, your lunch, or even your breakfast, to break bread with you at your table. And that shows children how they can share their faith and mingle and interact with others and not be afraid. So what you've done here this evening by inviting a wealth of knowledge and experience here is a beautiful thing. It's a very beautiful thing, and I bring you greetings from the Seventh-day Adventist Church, and I'm looking forward to continued friendship and partnership as we serve the humanity together.
Thank you, Pastor Claude. I'd like to now ask Pastor Nasser from Kissimmee Arabic Church to come up and say a few words.
Since I'm from Sudan, I know Arabic very well. I'm going to speak in Arabic, okay? Assalamu alaikum. Thank you, Imam Tariq, for this invitation to the Islamic Center. I just want to share something, the way I grew up in Sudan and the way I see the whole picture. Back in Sudan, you cannot distinguish between Christian and Muslim because they live peacefully together, eat together, share their whatever life together. That's the way I grew up in Sudan, and that's the way I want to end my life also. We love Muslims so much. I have a lot of Muslims friends. I have faithful friends up to now, almost 4 years. And I want to tell you that if you want to know people, you have to make a relationship. Don't make your judgment from outside. Don't make your judgment because of political issues. Unfortunately, policy divides us, but God unites us. And I want to share just two things from the Bible. The Bible says in Genesis that God created all of us in the image of God. All of us were created in the image of God. And the Bible says that if you don't love the man who can see, human you can see, how you can claim that you love God? Okay? So I love you, Muslim, and we are all human, and we are all sharing the same journey together. And I thank you for this wonderful time that you arranged for us. May God bless you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I'd like to now ask Ms. Raja from Department of State's Contracted Interpreter. She is the CEO of Protocol 1, Translation and International Services. She's also a former professor of foreign languages and coordinator of international student services at UCF.
Thank you. I'm Ragda Kurdi. I would like to welcome tonight a group of Palestinians from the Palestinian territories. They are visiting the Department of State, and they are here to learn about many subjects. So I would like to welcome them one by one, and just please allow me to get their names. I'm working with the internet. Okay, when I say your name, please stand up so I could present you. Mr. Abdallah Abu Ayyash. Mr. Bassam Abu Jaber. Mr. Ahmed Awad. Mr. Khalid Awaude. Mr. Nimr Bani Shamsa. Mr. Ahmed Darawsha. Mr. Yasser Al-Zabi. Mr. Tawfiq Ammar. Tawfiq, I think he's not here. Yeah. And Mr. Badawi Al-Ghazali. And Mr. Al-Ghazali is accompanying them as a liaison interpreter. Okay? All right. Thank you so much.
Now I'd like to call Pastor Javed Masi from President of Multicultural Outreach of Greater Orlando.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum. I was born in Pakistan, and I love Pakistanis, I love Muslims. I grew up with them. Actually, the school I went to in Pakistan, Imran Khan also went, the Prime Minister, was Anglican Church, Cathedral High School. And my dear friend Akbar, Mr. Akbar Sheikh, he went to another school close to us, St. Anthony's School. And so we feel very proud that we are graduates of that school. So one thing I will say, 90% of the students who came to my school, they were coming from Muslim background, including my classmate who was the former Chief Justice of Pakistan, Saqib Misal. So it's a pleasure. I didn't know I was going to speak here, but I have to be always ready. So one thing I'll say, living in America for more than 40 plus years, I've learned that America is a land of the free. I mean, everybody is welcome. Doesn't matter who you are. I just recently found out there are 300 plus languages spoken in America. Did you know that? More than 300 languages. In South Florida, there are about 200 languages spoken. So it's a pleasure to be here. I'm very grateful to Imam Tariq Rashid. I've been a good friend with him since 2011 when I moved from upstate New York. And he's been very gracious. He speaks Urdu and I speak Urdu also. So we get along very well. I've been to his city, Lucknow, which is the capital of Uttar Pradesh. And it's a beautiful city. It's called the City of Nezakat, City of Etiquette. And his children have done a super job today. God bless you. Thank you.
Now, if Imam Tariq could come to say a few words.
You know, talking about children, you know, one of the things that every religion teaches is that, you know, we have to be a role model for our children, and we have to lead by example. And you know, whatever wrong we have done in our past, once we become parent, we have to straighten up. And it's a big challenge to be a role model for anyone. But for children, it's you know, you have to be the role model. So having said that, you know, one of the things that I teach my children is that wherever you live, wherever you go, you have to spread love. You know, love is what God wants from each one of us. You know, God loves those who love people, right? I mean, in Bible or in Torah or in Quran, nowhere there is a single verse that encourages people to hate. You know? So when we hate each other, it's our egos, not religious commandments, you see? So, you know, I see one of my very good friends for the last maybe 20 years, he is Jewish. And him and I have been together for I don't know how many years. And his name is Mr. Brian. So can you come here, Mr. Brian? I know you don't like public speaking. He's not So Mr. Brian has been coming to our Interfaith Iftar since we started, like, I don't know how many years ago, right? And he is here whenever we invite him. And he invited me to his religious dinner, which is Hanukkah, right? Passover. And let me tell you what happened. After I visited his house during that Passover dinner, right? You know, when I went to his house, even before I went to his house, he made sure that he had arranged halal meat. So he took the pain of going to a Muslim store, buying halal meat, and then they cooked that meat. It's better than Publix. And they cooked that meat in a separate pan, right? So that I should feel comfortable, right? So I went there and I enjoyed that, his hospitality and food and his religious customs, where I saw him sitting with his family and his children were reading in turn from the Holy Scriptures. But what happened was that some weeks down the road, I met a Jewish person, and during the conversation, I mentioned that, you know what, I went to one of my Jewish friends over Passover dinner. I'm telling you, that person looked at me as if I'm talking in French. And then he said, "You are Muslim, right?" I said, "Yes." "You're an imam, yeah?" "So you went to a Passover dinner?" And then he said, "That's only for Jews." I said, "No, he invited me and I enjoyed it." Okay, maybe. But what I'm saying is that there are people like Mr. Brian, right? And there are people out there who have hatred, right? But we need to be like Mr. Brian, with a big heart. And him and I have different religions, right? But we have been together for such a long time. In fact, Mr. Brian initiated the Boy Scouts activities here at this Muslim school. You see, and his son, where is he now?
Texas.
In Texas now. Like 3-4 years ago, he had a community project to do. So he chose.
That one's in Melbourne.
That was in Melbourne. Okay. What he did was that he made what do you call that thing?
The trailer.
The trailer, right? I mean, he just made the trailer. He renovated it and he made it look really good, and then he donated it to the Islamic Center. So when you talk about good parenting, here is a good example, Mr. Brian. And his other son was a scoutmaster here at the Islamic Center. So what I'm saying is that this is what Islamic Center of Orlando stands for. Making bridges. You know, you can keep your religion and your tradition. I will keep my religion and my tradition. But my religion and your religion teaches us to make bridges, not to divide, right? So, Mr. Brian and all of you, thank you for coming, right? I think tonight when we leave from here, you know, we'll think about what is being said here and what is being taught here. So with these words, Mr. Brian, would you like to say a few words?
There we go. Can you hear me? Yes. I was thinking when I first got here, all those years ago when I first started coming out to the Islamic Center, how uncomfortable I felt being a Jewish guy walking into the Islamic Center surrounded by a bunch of Muslims, and that was, a lot of it was from ignorance and just not understanding and not interacting. And tonight I was sitting here feeling a little bit uncomfortable. I look around, I see so many friends now, and I'm feeling uncomfortable because, for the opposite reason, to me, I never really kind of looked at the community as that much different, you know. I mean, we're all kind of cut from the same cloth, right? And to me, it's just very natural to be able to reach my hand out and open up my door and invite people for dinner. Every year I do that. I think if the world, you know, operated more like that, we'd be in a much better place. I would love to speak to our Palestinian guests over there too and speak to them about their perspectives as well. You know, I think so many times we get caught up in the news and the geopolitical confusion and mess and soup out there, and we stop looking at people as people and we start grouping people together in these big categories. And to me, that's where things kind of start to fall apart. You know, to this day when I come here, I never look at anyone and is like, oh, you're Muslim, or I mean, my wife, my beautiful wife is Catholic. Go figure, right? And she teaches at an Orthodox Jewish school. She's probably a better Jew than I am. So, you know, I think it's just all about tolerance, and I'm, you know, just very happy to be here. always embarrassed when you pick me out, but in a way I'm very glad too. I mean, it's been such a pleasure, and you know, as time goes by, just you know, it's just not that big a deal anymore that you're my friend, and hopefully we'll continue to be that way, and with the rest of the community too. Again, look around the room and you see a lot of people who I consider my friends now. So thank you all for coming.
Thank you, Mr. Brian. Thank you. Thank you for those words. So, I mean, I asked Mr. Brian to speak in front of you with this intention that you should see that the Islamic Center of Orlando was founded some 30 years ago, right? Since then till now, we have been trying to do our best to make this place a better place to live and to raise our children, right? And I think, you could be very religious Christian or very religious Jewish person or very religious Muslim, right? But unless and until you reach out to people, right, you are not religious. You are not religious in that sense, look at the teaching of Jesus and Moses and Muhammad, same thing, right? And that is, be a good person. Be a good person. And we can be a good person when we love people, period. Right? And in this time and age where there's so much hate and hateful speech all the way from the top, right, till the bottom, you see all this hate and this ban and that ban, right? It's very important to have gatherings like this. When our children are watching, and when you and I will be gone, these children will remember these gatherings, right? And when we have religious people right here on this table, and here, when you come up and speak, our children are listening. And they are going to remember this, and they are going to act upon it, right? So that's the reason why we hold these interfaith gatherings, right? So this year we are having 6 interfaith gatherings. No Islamic center holds it. I'm telling you, no Islamic center holds it, because Ramadan is the time when every imam is so busy in his mosque, right? We have so many things to do, so many prayers to lead, that imams have no time for anything. But for me, being an imam, I think this is very, very important what we are doing right now. Very, very important. And I hope and pray that in every Islamic center, right, the imams will start doing this, right? It is going to make the local community a very, very peaceful place where you can appreciate the differences, right? And be good, social and good community members. Just like you saw on those 2 videos, right? Did you like those videos? I mean, there are so many videos out there. So, but you see a little bit of interaction changes people from full of hate to full of love. Full of hate to full of love. So, that's it. I mean, this is the message for tonight. Let's love each other. Let's continue to respect our differences, and the future would be a better one, right? So we break our fast at sunset, which is 8:05. Right now it's 8:05. So we have 4 more minutes to wait before we can break our fast. So what happens is that we should break our fast with something sweet. And in Arabia, the most easy thing that was found at that time was dates, right? So it became a tradition, even now, that although we have so many sweet things that we have access to in Florida, right? But we still chose to do the old traditional way, and that is that we break our fast with a date, and after that, we start eating as much food as you can. Okay. So, in 3 minutes time, we'll call an azan. Azan is a call for prayer. That's the time when we are going to break our fast. Okay? So we have 3-4 minutes we can talk, and then at 8 or 9 we'll call the azan. Thank you.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. أشهد أن محمد رسول الله. أشهد أن محمد رسول الله. حي على الصلاة. حي على الصلاة. حي على الفلاح. حي على الفلاح. الله أكبر، الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
So now I'd like to invite our guests to please come with us and have dinner. These volunteers will take you to the dinner area. So if we can have all 4 guests, please come. Mr. Brian, can you start?
So he needs a lot more yogurt.
Especially all my brothers, each one of us lives in a different country.
When I was in high school, like 16, 17, I worked at...
First, I'd like to know how was the food? Was it good? I'd like to thank many volunteers who made this happen. Sister Fatima, are you here? Okay, Sister Fatima is the coordinator for outreach program. And I'd like to really thank her for doing an excellent job of reaching out to you and inviting all of you. She's not here, but you know, may God bless her. She's eating. I don't blame her. And at the same time, I'd like to thank all the volunteers who helped us in setting this up with food and drinks and chairs and tables and everything, and all of them are fasting actually, but still they took out time to help us out, so may God bless all of them. You know what, I was watching on every table you're having good fellowship going on, you know, good conversation going on. You're getting to know each other well. I think that is the success of this gathering, you see, and I hope we can meet often. You know, not just in Ramadan, but Ramadan comes after a year. You see, it's a long time. So I hope that we can get together more often. We sometimes hold...
How about next week? Once a quarter.
Tomorrow is another day.
But you know, this fellowship, right, it just helps everyone to know each other, right? I mean, just thinking right now, you got to know someone. that you did not know before, right? So it just makes our heart feel good, and our anxieties and stress goes away.
That's right.
You know, it's just good. So I'm just going to read a study, and please don't laugh at it, but it's real. It's kind of funny, but it's real. And this study was done in University of Oxford in England. So here it says, now I'm reading as it says, so sisters should not feel bad. You know, it says that men should get together with their friends at least twice a week to ensure good health, according to a University of Oxford study. So men should get together with their friends at least twice a week. And I think my wife is listening. Yeah, right. So the health benefits of maintaining good male friendships can include reduced anxiety, a stronger immune system, and a lower chance of suffering depression. So, but I think this goes true with our interfaith work as well. That we need to meet more often, not just once in a year, but I think we should meet more often so that we can know each other better. So we have your mailing address. Maybe 3-4 months down the road, when we have another event, maybe a barbecue out there in the field, you know, we'll shoot an email to you. And if you have time, please come with your family. You know, we'll love to host you again. So again, thank you for coming. Please enjoy the rest of the evening. Try to be here as long as you want. And, you know, thank you for coming. And may God bless all of us.
Thank you.